Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes and welcome to another SWGOH video. So last night we finally got the long-awaited new content here in the form of the Conquest. So in this video I just want to cover some of the basics around the feats, the key cards, the energy and stamina, just kind of cover the basics here. I do not really want to go too much into the actual battles, data disks and consumables and things like that, because, you know, first we have to go through normal mode and most likely a lot of us, you know, we are really waiting for the hard mode to actually see, you know, what the best teams are, what the best data cards are and so on. And it's only been, you know, not even a day since it launched. So definitely I feel like, you know, we need to play through the whole event before, you know, we get a better feel of exactly what's the best approach and the most efficient way to do this. So anyway, let's get into it. So as you can see, like, event ends in 13 days and 4 hours. So it seems like every time it will be running for 14 days. And once you go in, first obviously you had to choose whether you want normal or hard difficulty. Now in the beginning they force us for this testing run that everybody go through normal first, so we'll see how the hard one will be and whether the rewards will actually be any better on the hard mode or not. I would imagine so, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So on this initial screen, once you get into the Conquest, as you can see here on the left, you've got 5 sectors to go through. Now unfortunately you can't go into any of the sectors that you haven't unlocked yet to go and view to see, you know, what feats are waiting for you there, what kind of teams you'll be going up against. However, what you can see from here is if you click on the eye icon, you actually do get some information at least about the boss of that sector that you will have to go up against. So this goes for each of the sectors. So if you look at the final sector 5 here, you'll be going up against Jedi Master Luke there, and as well of, you know, like kind of estimated bonuses that these team will be getting. So, you know, it's interesting thing to see. So in order for you to progress into the next sector, you first have to defeat the boss in sector 1. This will then unlock sector 2. Once you defeat boss in sector 2, it will unlock for you sector 3, and so on and so on. Now for each sector, on the right side here above the enter button, you've got the number of the key cards here available. So sector 1 has maximum of 66, then second one as well, then in the third one goes up to 84 maximum, in sector 4 87, and finally sector 5 105. I'll get it once I get into the sector. I will get more into it, how are you collecting these cards, but all what you have to know is that throughout, you know, different battles and feats and things like that, you'll be receiving these cards, and the more cards you get, the better rewards as well you will do. So after, you know, this first day I collected so far 23 out of 65, so I'm yet to achieve the first crate there. And as you can see, I'm on difficulty normal there, and this is where also feats come in. So these feats here that are listed on the initial screen here for the Conquest are the feats that progress through all the 14 days. So these ones span across the sectors. And again, once you tap on each, you can see what the rewards are. So it looks like each of them rewards 9 Conquest key cards. Okay, here we go. So and then here you can also look at your inventory. So those are the data disks that you collected so far. And then also you've got here, you can have access to directly to the store where you can purchase additional consumables. But again, so far, you know, in sector 1 on normal difficulty for my GP, you know, I didn't need really any of these consumables yet. All right, so this is the kind of initial screen overview here. At the top there, you can also see how much energy you have. Now this energy regenerates 1 energy for every 12 minutes. So I think that's same as Cantina, which means that you do get 5 energy per hour, which comes out to 120 energy per day. And unlike other energies here, we don't get any bonus energy throughout the day. So just something to bear in mind. And because each battle costs 15 energy, this will allow you to do 8 battles a day without refreshing. Now obviously if you do want to refresh, there's an option here. So refreshes follow, looks like a similar energy refresh rates. So 3 times 50, 3 times 100, then it bumps to 200 and 400 and 800. But unless you're in a hurry, I think there is no reason to refresh, because each sector's got 15 battles, I think. So, just using the energy that you accumulate every day, you'll be able to probably clear all 5 sectors in 10 days. So that leaves you like 4 days if you want to go hunting for some feats that you maybe didn't do when you were playing through all the nodes. And then finally here, we also have Conquest Credits, and these are then used to purchase various items, either from the Conquest store, as you can see, cut here. Some of them are bought with crystals, and like this one is bought with the Conquest Credits. We also got some gear down there, as well as shards. And then also once you're actually in the sector nodes, there'll be scavenger nodes where you may purchase as well some gear and consumables. All right, so just now go into the sector as well itself. So in beginning, as you can see, it's kind of split into multiple sections here. So you can only kind of view the section that you're in. Like I can't actually view yet what battles are waiting ahead, except for the boss battle I can. So as you make progress, then you start seeing more nodes what's ahead. But for some reason they block, so you can't actually preview the whole sector straight in the beginning. Now here in each sector at the bottom left as well, you got 3 feats for each of the sectors. So remember, on the initial screen that showed you, those were the feats that apply for the duration of the whole event across all 5 sectors. But then it looks like each sector on its own as well has some individual feats for you to complete. And again, the rewards for these are more key cards. There we go. And then here next to it, it shows you current rewards. So if you tap on that, it just shows you your current progress for rewards. So every time, for example, at 15 key cards, I got the first reward, which this check mark there shows already collected. So once I reach 30 key cards, I'll get the next set. At 55, the next set. And every time you do reach a new threshold, there'll be like, a little red icon there with a number just notifying you that you do have a reward to collect. So you can just go in and collect the rewards. So at 65, you hit the first crate, then 110 the next crate, and so on and so on and so on. So to get the max rewards, you need to achieve minimum of 425 key cards. So just something to bear in mind. Oh, might as well actually have a look what's in the max rewards here. So you got 20 blueprints for Razor Crest, you got some relic material, and as well some of the prize boxes that include a very nice gear here. Oh, that's possible rewards. So hold on. Okay, so you don't get all of them. You just get one of them, looks like. But still, it's good gear, good to have here. And I'm pretty sure once we get onto the hard mode there that, rewards hopefully will scale up. You get some Zetas in here, slicing materials. So the rewards so far, look pretty decent. But again, I think CG did mention that in this initial exhibition run, these may not be the final rewards, that, they'll still be tweaking the reward system as we go along. And that's why the main thing here really is get maximum key cards for maximum rewards. And you do that by completing the feats that we had a look initially on the first screen, where you got 5 event feats, and then in each sector you've got again additional feats that you earn key cards with. And then for each battle that you do, you can get a maximum of 3 key cards. So if you 3-star battle, that's 3 key cards. If you 2-star battle, 2, and if you 1-star battle, then you get 1 key card. I tested it out, that's how I know. So that's the maximum key cards. And then certain battles, like for example the boss battle here, will give you 12 key cards, not just 3. And that's because for example the boss battle and potentially some of the other nodes here, we'll see, will have also feats specific to that node. So to get maximum key cards 12 for the boss battle, you have to achieve all of these feats. So the whole kind of system with key cards and feats is very similar to the Galactic Challenge that we are now all familiar with. So you just have to go through Make sure you 3-star or the battle as you progress, and then hopefully you get max rewards once we get all the feats done. I mean, so far I just used up the initial run of energy we had here, and that's where I got to in the end. It's also worth noting that, for example, I compare with my other account. For example, these nodes were getting data disks. The data disks between two accounts were not exactly the same, so they seem random. And same goes for some of these battles that I was doing. I was getting slightly different teams between the two accounts. So again, it seems like, you know, there's like a pool of teams that the tool will set for you. So not everybody seems like will have exactly same experience. And then as you're making way through the nodes, winning battles, again, you can slightly choose your path. For example, if I decide next to go to the top zone, top node there, then I will get access to the top and middle node next. However, if I go on the bottom node, then I will only have access to either the bottom or middle node. So it's kind of like they try to make it not as linear, so you can kind of choose which battle you would rather go up against. And this probably, especially once you will go in a hard node, it will, I guess, you know, we will try to maybe choose, you know, some of the teams that we can counter easier and things like that. And then in terms of, so these are just standard battle nodes, as you can see, with maximum 3 cards. And then each node will show you the team you'll be going up against, the gear levels, zetas, and everything. Unfortunately, you can't tap on them to view their mods and stats to, you know, exactly know what their speed is like. I think that would be very helpful, especially once we get into the harder nodes where, you know, who goes first is really important. Because as soon as you go into the battle, you will lose the 15 energy. Whether you win or lose battle, that energy is gone. You will not be able to get it back. Then we're now looking at next here. Each battle will have certain modifiers for the enemy, not for you. So it's similar like in Galactic Challenge. A lot of these modifiers, it seems like they're just copied over from Galactic Challenges that we had so far for the factions. Sometimes a little bit adjusted, but overall they're quite similar. So do make sure, especially once we get to the harder battles, to check these, because especially I think the Galactic Republic modifier, even at lower levels, can be tricky, because any damage you do to them, they reflect that damage back on you. So if you do a big AoE with one of your characters, that character will quickly lose health and protection, because they will reflect all the damage you do to them back onto your character. So some of these modifiers can be tricky. So, you know, especially once we get into the harder sectors there, and especially hard mode, do make sure that you check those modifiers before going into the battle. And then also you can see the rewards that you get for each of the battles. And then as I've shown you before there in the boss battle, there's also a tab there. So if I tab here through, you've got rewards, modifiers, and feats. So some of them have feats as well. So for each of the node here, you can just here go through and get all the details. And here just shows you the units that you have. So for example, you require 2 stars. So I don't know, maybe in hard mode, you will absolutely have to have 7-star characters. In that case, you know, some of those, like if you maybe don't have Watt at 7 stars, you might not be able to use them. If you have Gideon that's not at 7 stars, might not be able to use him. But again, we don't know yet that, because we do not have the insight into hard mode and see what the star requirements will be like. But something definitely to bear in mind, that there might be a Stargate here for some of the nodes and sectors in the future. Okay, so next, I already mentioned the energy here. It recharges at 1 energy per 12 minutes. And whenever you do go into the battle, once you hit battle, obviously you will lose these 15 energy, whether you win, lose, or retreat. And looking then, that's a new thing that they introduced as well for this event. It's stamina. So this is the white here bar at the top of every character here. So as you can see, my Supreme color and is at 99% of stamina. This is because earlier this morning I already used him in one battle. So every time you use a unit in the battle, that unit will lose 10% of stamina. So just think of it, they will be becoming less effective. So I guess once, you know, character is at 50% of stamina, then, you know, will be 50% less effective. So I'm assuming they will just they're just reducing their stats of the character down to, let's say, 50%. Now this stamina does replenish over time. So each unit will gain 1% of stamina for each half an hour. So in 1 hour you will gain back 2% of stamina. So it doesn't mean that, you know, once characters use up all the stamina you won't be able to use them anymore, because it means like if you do it once, if you, for example, just once a day during your lunchtime, do your 8 battles a day if you don't refresh energy, then when you come the next day again, your lunchtime, you know, your stamina will be replenished. So in 24 hours your units can replenish 48% of stamina. So even if you use certain teams like 3, 4 times, even 5 times, then the next day again, you know, their stamina will be full. So you'll be able to pretty much reuse, you know, some of the best teams here that you have every day, as long as, you know, you just stick to that free energy that you get each day. So I think that's not bad, you know, it allows you, but again, we'll see, maybe in the hard mode things will work different. This is just at the moment in normal mode how things work. Now in terms of stamina here, you will only lose stamina if you win the battle. So I tested it. I have gone into the battle and intentionally lost it. Obviously I lost my energy, but the characters that I used in the battle that lost, they were still available to use. So it's not like raid when they get defeated you can't use them anymore, or in, you know, the old Galactic War. You can reuse characters even if you lose the battle and they will not lose stamina, so their stamina will be still at 100%. And same goes if you go into the battle and retreat, you will also not lose stamina, you will only lose the energy for the battle. However, if for example you go in the battle with 5 units and then one of them gets defeated, that defeated one, because you won the battle, will still lose stamina. So just something to bear in mind, you know, that if you do go in and lose the battle, at least, you know, the stamina wasn't used up, only the energy for the battle. Alright, and maybe just finally touch upon the nodes here that we have. So you have the Scavenger Note here, so every now and then you'll come to a point where you reach a Scavenger Node, and here you can then purchase certain consumables here. Sometimes there is also gear. For example, on this node here you can actually purchase some gear on the way if you want. So, you know, you've got that kind of nodes, and then obviously I've mentioned before you've got the data card nodes where you can then you know, for free add one of the bonuses to your team. And these data cards are really fun. It's definitely probably a video idea for the future to see like which data cards, you know, are very interesting and useful. For example, there's one data card that applies on every enemy's unit turn, they get applied 2 dots. So, you know, for example, imagine Vader lead going in, all those dots stacking, and, you know, Vader's lead, you have Zayt on him, those dots will never expire. So be able to quickly build up dots, and Vader will be able to, you know, take them out very quickly with all those debuffs. So there's definitely, you know, a lot of interesting, I think, combinations here between teams and data cards. And, you know, we'll discover those as we go along and progress through, you know, this first here 2 weeks, and then whenever we do reach the hard mode, to see how things will go there. Alright guys, that's all I wanted to cover into today's video. I did not want to go like into the battles and teams and data cards, because, you know, this is just kind of the exhibition here season that we only get to play normal difficulty. So definitely want to take more time once we hit hard difficulty, and then as well have more time to play around with different teams to exactly figure out what's the most efficient way to complete these, how to manage your teams with stamina and things like that, and what data cards are good with what teams and things like that. So definitely, you know, do make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss those videos, as I'll start releasing them over the following weeks. Now I hope that you are so far enjoying the new Conquest mode. We finally got some new events here to play around with on daily basis. Let me know in the comments below or on my Discord server, but until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.